How's it going, everybody? My name is Camden Hampshire. Welcome back to the PG Consulting Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Alicia Ramirez. Just a little bit about her, and then we'll go into her story. She is a senior economic development specialist, a former Kings County School Board member, and also a former senior field rep for Rudy Salas. She also does work with businesses all over the world. So thank you, Alicia, for coming on. I kind of wanted to start with, out of the things that I said, what was kind of go back to the beginning, kind of where you came from, and how did you basically get to where you are today with those things I named off?
First of all, thank you for having me here today. I'm really honored to be here. Uh, I would like to start off by going back to my roots. My mother and father worked really hard in making sure that I worked hard, that I learned how to earn my money, to be always very transparent and um, all those, and also always giving back to the community. That was one of the biggest things that I always seen my parents do, give back to the community. I started working for Assembly Member Rudy Salas. I seen how passionate he was, how much he cared about the communities, and I thought, geez, one day I want to do what he's doing and be able to give back to the community, be able to serve um, as a public servant. And I thought about it and I said, I want to run in my district and run for Kings County Board of Education. Thankfully, uh, the constituents selected me to represent them. And that's where I started, right? Now, working with Rudy for almost 10 years, working with the state legislative office, I was able to meet a lot of people, from constituents to elected officials, uh, uh, people from all over the world. Also did economic development during that time, a lot of constituent cases. From there, after my boss, Rudy Salas, termed out, I started working as for another large city, and I was um, a coordinator with economic development. From there, now I'm a senior economic development specialist, where I now have the honor of working with global industries. And with that, I'm sorry.
No, no, you're
I
fine.
feel like
That's
I'm just
that's a
kind of
perfect
going through.
introduction. I kind of just I want to go into the economic development role basically, but I kind of want to take it back to being the former field rep for Rudy Salas. You're obviously like kind of like the eyes and ears of him. What would you say during that time? What would you say would be like the number one issue that the residents were kind of bringing to you guys, or kind of bringing to light when you were serving with him, basically?
Well, because we work with all of the state related issues. One of the biggest issues was, I remember SB1, when Rudy voted against it. He didn't want uh, to put a burden on our constituents. SB1 was to raise the gas tax, to raise many taxes on different items that we were going to be consuming, that we are consuming now. That was one of the biggest issues or bills. Uh, another of the um, Another issue was um, the unemployment, especially during the pandemic. That was that was one of the biggest issues, when people were not getting paid. The right people were not getting paid, and Rudy had to fight in Sacramento to make sure that our constituents were getting paid. That during the pandemic, that our constituents were receiving the services that they needed, whether it was immunizations or services. They were available for those that wanted to utilize them. He wanted to make sure that everybody had the same opportunity. And so I want to say those were some of the main issues that we've seen, along with other issues. Um, but I want to say those were like the main ones.
Right. Like those economical and basically financial issues that was, very very hard during COVID. Do you see, like, just kind of like from an outside perspective, like now fast forward into 2026, do you feel that it has gotten better, like in these areas, or is it something that, what would you say?
Kind of going back to during the pandemic, another of the big issues was our businesses, right? Our
Right.
businesses were also suffering. Um, the businesses were shut down. They weren't able to sell as much. So right now, with that issue, I feel that some of the companies are barely getting back on track, and it's getting there little by little.
Right.
And I think a lot of that has to do because of all the support that the businesses have received
Right.
from Sacramento, and whether it be um, a financial support, resource support, I feel that that has been very helpful for the businesses. Like I said, it's still a struggle,
Right. Yeah.
but I see it getting better.
Yeah, it's almost like a lot of those businesses, they're still trying to get over the whole COVID era pretty much, because it wasn't just, 2020, it was multiple years after that. So,
Yes. So then, so it's getting better, right? And so I feel that right now, though it's getting better, there's also the fear with some of the businesses, some of the larger industries,
right.
um, also some of the small industries, but the tariffs that that are being put on to the businesses, I don't think sometimes people understand that those tariffs, yes, the owner of those businesses have to pay for the tariffs,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, the consumers like us are the ones that are going to pay that extra money for other items that are
Mm,
being imported.
mm, I see. Okay. I kind of want to transition a little bit into you having the position of a senior economic development specialist. So, kind of explain to somebody that has never really heard the term what a senior economic development specialist is, and uh, kind of after that, um, go. I want you to just kind of go into like what type of business with businesses all over the world are you doing, and kind of go into that. What does that look like for you?
Yes, so I work with businesses from small business to large industries. Uh, I work with a lot of businesses globally, from Taiwan, Mexico, Dubai, different companies from all over the world that want to establish in the city.
Right.
With that, we provide a concierge services. We assist in finding a location, a site location, incentives, providing a full guidance through the whole transition. One of the greatest things that we have, aside from any other city, and I love my cities, I
Yeah.
love California, but our team, we have a really strong team that is very business friendly and is very business oriented. So we have a very unique streamlining system where a company comes in and doesn't have to wait weeks or months to start their business.
Right.
It's a whole different process.
Yeah.
In some cities, it takes 30 days just for anyone to look at your application. With us, we take less than 15 days.
Wow.
So it's so much quicker, it's so much faster.
Yeah. Awesome. Like, so, going to those other countries, and obviously those those business owners in those other countries want to come over to the United States and California. Based on, your experience, what would you say the businesses in those other countries sort of get wrong or miss that you see here in the United States or in California per se, like business model or anything like that? Like what would you say, like the other countries sort of, they can't really, business owners in other countries, they can't really figure out that we have here in the United States?
I believe we have a great ecosystem,
Mm.
and they look at the areas, right? They look at the area, if the site location, the price behind it, the even the concierge services. It's really high. It's really hard to find in other places.
Mm.
We make sure that our clients are taken care of, and we guide them through the whole process. We don't just say, "Hey, here, go to this location, go meet um, this other industry, or meet this other person that would be your ecosystem that align with you," right?
Right.
But we actually set up meetings for them.
Mm.
We sit down with them. We create a whole ecosystem,
Yeah.
and we bring in the workforce industry, the educational side, uh, the U.S. commercial services for the importing and exporting, whichever the businesses are wanting to do. But being that they're coming from other countries, we know they're going to want to export, right?
Right.
We
Yeah.
we know that the majority, at least 99%, are going to want to export.
Yeah.
So putting all the ecosystem together for them, helping them build their workforce so that we can keep our local workforce locally and not have industries just train and take our talent,
Yeah.
but actually keeping them there
Yeah.
and building that ecosystem from there, from like the workforce, the educational side, to meeting the other partners that will support their industry.
Mm.
So that is hard to find
Yeah.
in other areas, right?
Yeah. What country do you really see the most that wants to come into the United States and kind of flourish their businesses here from your experience?
Geez, I think right now it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's really competitive, especially with the industry right now. The majority of the businesses that I'm working with right now, it's very high tech, from 15 to almost 18 years in advancement. Um, so they're all very competitive. I wouldn't say one over the other.
Okay. Um, so like staying in this topic, in your personal view, what do you feel is something that makes a local economy healthy? Would it be, like the wages, the jobs, you know, the business growth? What would you say in your personal opinion is like the most important in a local economy per se?
I believe we have to be ready to grow,
Mm.
right? Because a lot of times we want industries, we want different stores to come in. But a lot of different stores
Big
or
box
or
stores.
big yes, or
Yeah.
big industries are always looking at the population. Do you have the population? What kind of educational systems do you have? What does my ecosystem look like? Right? So I think that building a building our local economy definitely takes a team, right? From bringing industries that provide better paying wages,
Mm.
better insurance, building a better quality of life
Right.
for the communities,
Right.
from industry to the educational side to research and development. I think it takes a whole ecosystem to build that.
Yeah. So like over the years, traveling to other countries, seeing all different kinds of cultures, communities, societies, like what would you say are some of the things, or it could be a singular thing or a couple of things that you've sort of worked on, like projects wise, or like what are some of the things that you've worked on that you really enjoyed, whether it was, from an international country or something like local. In that role, what would you say has been like your favorite thing to work on?
I love working with all the businesses, from the small ones to the large ones.
Right.
I really love seeing the new technology
Mm.
and seeing it beforehand,
Yeah.
and
Building
knowing,
process.
yes, and knowing that it's a technology that's not out there, and not even social media,
Yeah. Right.
or it's not out on the news, it's not out anywhere, and you get to see it firsthand, knowing that, oh wow, we're working with this industry that has such high tech
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about different industries, even with the ag industry, right?
Right.
I'm talking about industries within the aerospace,
Right.
industries in um, even, you know, cars, different luxury cars,
Yeah.
working on even on the educational side, right?
Mm.
Seeing all the new technology that's coming in, and seeing how that's going to make a big change in the communities. Um, I think that that is really rewarding, and being able to work with all the industries,
Yeah.
like I said, from the small ones to the large ones. But, like I said, seeing the industries with such high tech,
Yeah.
it's just amazing. I mean, you see the robots to humanoids
Yeah.
to, I mean, cars that are very, very high tech,
Mm.
to, again, the aerospace.
Yeah. Would you say from your perspective and working with all those different industries that obviously like the tech industry is the biggest booming industry, like what would you say besides the tech industry is an industry that you see going up over the years, or it already has, or like potential, like what would you say, what industry pretty much?
Well, I see the tech in every industry, even in the ag. When
Right.
we talk about ag, we talk about like fertilizers,
Mm-hmm.
right? The fertilizers that that were used back in the day to the fertilizers that are used now.
Mm-hmm.
Companies that are using the very high tech, that now they don't have to use gallons. Now they can only use ounces,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's quality, and it's catered to um, certain uh, uh, types of, fruits and vegetables. Seeing that on the ag side, seeing how the different models that they use for, even in the ag, like I mentioned, now they're using, instead of using the airplanes, now they're using drones,
Drones. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I've seen that a lot.
So that it's still very high tech.
Autonomous tractors as well. I've
Yes,
seen that a lot
autonomous
too.
tractors.
Because I work in the ag industry, so yeah, I definitely can vouch for that. It's definitely helped a lot of farmers out for sure.
Yes.
Like you said, with going from, it's crazy, like over the years going from gallons to ounces, because it's been so trickled down to a very small amount can go a long way, rather than, like you said, quantity over quality. It's more, quality over quantity. No, that's definitely great. I kind of want to jump back to uh, you got elected to Kings County Board of Education in 2020. Is that
Yes.
right? Uh, what would you say were some of the struggles, during the pandemic you saw, and what kind of actions did you sort of try and take to get the students back into the classroom?
I want to say it takes a team, right?
Right. Yeah.
I always say it takes a team. It's definitely a team effort. Um, during that time, I was working for the member and Assembly Member Rudy Salas. And so I would always share the struggles that we were having, right? And of course, we all wanted our students to go back to their classes, but safely,
Right.
right? So knowing that in Washington, we were the last on the list to receive any immunizations, to receive, well, we were on the list to receive, we were the last ones to be able to receive any immunizations or any other types of resources or tests. But we were very thankful enough that during that time, Assembly Member Rudy Salas um, wrote a letter to not only to the governor, but to the president and said,
Mm.
hey, we're being overlooked in Kings County.
Right.
We want our communities to be able to have the same resources as everyone else. But they seen us as a very tiny little place in Kings County.
Right.
And so being able to, communicate that to my boss and being able, to work with them on that and my colleagues, that was one of the biggest issues we had during the pandemic. Also, some of our teachers and students that were um, unable to communicate as they wanted because um, the uncertainty of what was really going to happen when it first happened. Was it really that bad or wasn't it? Right? Nobody knew at that time.
Right.
So everybody was just trying to protect themselves and protect their families.
Yeah.
During that time, we found out that, you know, from like the little big things, our internet system was not the greatest,
Mm.
right? We had students that were here in Hanford that were struggling with their internet. Um, some of the parents we knew, well, because of the teachers, I don't give myself credit on that. The teachers, the principals, some of them went out to the families and found out that during the pandemic, some of these families had lost a family member, or the struggles of even connecting to the internet or
Mm-hmm.
doing their homework. There was a lot of uncertainties. There was a lot of issues going on during that time. But I, thank again the teachers and superintendents and principals that actually took the time to go out there
Right.
and try to find out the needs of these families.
Yeah.
I know on our end, we were out, providing food, going to the homes, leaving food on the doors. Um, we received a lot of calls during that time as well. Um, you, and we were one of the first people that the community would say felt comfortable going to, because we were one of the few offices in the state that were open for the public,
Mm.
for our constituents. And so whether the students, the I'm sorry, their family members needed diapers, food, groceries, whatever it was, that we were able to supply it
Right.
through our partners.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a big thing that probably a lot of people overlooked during the pandemic was, a lot of those struggling families, they didn't realize that, you know, in order to get on a class, I mean, because I was a senior in high school, but it's like in order to get onto a class, you got to have a computer, one, and you got to have an internet connection too. And it's like there's a lot of people out there that don't have that accessibility, and it's like I think that was definitely overlooked for sure. So you said Kings County was sort of overlooked. Did you see like other counties? Were they getting the same treatment, or like from your outside perspective, was it kind of the same thing with Kings County? Was the surrounding counties getting overlooked too, or was it different?
definitely a lot of the smaller counties were being overlooked.
Right.
We would see, for example, big cities like Fresno, where we would see on TV saying, hey, they received so much
Hmm.
um, allocation to provide so many services or provide um, resources. And we were seeing the big cities receiving the resources, but not the smaller cities, not the
Mm.
smaller counties.
Right.
So I think we were um, overlooked, just like other smaller
Hmm.
counties.
Do you think the education, because you talked about how there's still a lot of businesses that are still trying to get get their feet back up pretty much like from the pandemic sort of era 5-6 years ago. Would you say it's different for the education system like in this surrounding area? Like, do you still feel that there are some struggles, or do you think they've made a pretty like strong comeback?
As far as the educational system,
Hmm.
I feel that there's still, as far as Kings County,
Hmm.
I feel that we still need to have a better internet system just because we still have a lot of our rural areas
Right.
that I know that their internet is not the strongest, and therefore we have students in those areas um, that are still struggling with that.
Right.
And like I mentioned before, there's even spots within the city that, for some reason, the internet's not the greatest.
Spotty. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've definitely noticed that. And it would kind of make sense too, because, California is one of the largest economies as well in the world. Um, Remind me, you ran for a position in like local politics? Is that correct or no?
Yes.
Would you ever consider like running again or
I would never close my doors on that.
right?
I'll keep it open.
Yeah.
Um, and because I love my communities,
Right.
I feel that I'm an advocate by nature.
Mm.
And I think because I seen that just growing up with my parents, I remember my mom, she would um, take me with her and tell me, hey, we're going to go and give our neighbors some fruits and vegetables. And my mom had the truck full of fruits and vegetables to give our neighbors. And, my father as well was always very involved in the community we lived in and never expecting anything in return, but we do it with our hearts. We
Right.
just want the best for our community. And I think that just that love for the communities,
Yeah.
that I would keep it open.
Yeah. For sure. That's awesome. Um, Now, you've obviously done a lot. Like, what would you say for this year, 2026? What would you say are some of your goals?
Well, I've always been very involved in the communities
Hmm.
and with the businesses. And I definitely, I definitely want to see, um, I definitely want to see, uh, you know, I guess I can't really say what projects I'm working on,
Hmm. Yeah, no,
uh,
that's understandable.
but I have great relationships with our consultants and
Hmm.
great friends, and internationally and all
Right.
over the place. Uh, I would love to. I would love to see. Uh, there's several things that my mind just kind of goes 100 miles an hour just because I'm kind of limited to what I can say.
Yeah, right. No, I
And
understand.
I would definitely love to see um, our local economy definitely grow
Mm.
more than
Yeah.
what we are um, locally and where I'm currently working at. And I know that with the strong team that we have, that we're definitely on the road for that.
Yeah.
We already have a strong team, and that's one of the things that I want to say. That I'm very blessed.
Hmm.
I'm very blessed to have a great team that definitely knows what economic development is
Right.
and where it's going, and the support system. And like I mentioned earlier, our streamlining
Hmm.
is just so different.
Yeah. That's awesome. Uh, kind of you brushed on the economic development again. Like who, if you can say, who are some of your favorite people that you've worked with over the years? Anybody that like stands out?
Um, I have, I have, I have a lot of great people that I worked with from when I worked with KCAO, Jeff Garner, Yolanda Solorio, um, to my boss, former boss, Assemblyman Rudy Salas, to, you know, uh, Lance Lippincott, who's a great, great person, definitely to work with, um, Jeff and Gina, uh, Jeff Garcia, Dr. Jeff Garcia,
Hmm. Okay.
and
Yeah.
Gina Arcino. Definitely have they been like great mentors.
Yeah.
Um, Paul Gonzales and Omar, they've been amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see how we're growing as a team. Also had other mentors like Mr. Piedad and his team. I've had many great people that I've worked with, um, along with my family that
Mm.
has been very supportive.
Right.
And I know that I could always, count on my family and talk to them about some of these projects.
Yeah.
My three kids are also entrepreneurs. They have a very business mindset as well.
Awesome. That's
So I know I
awesome.
could always count on them. There's have a really great support system. Another people that I really admire and look up to is Lolly Moheno, a great lady that I also admire and look up to. Geez, I have a great list of
There's a
those,
lot.
and I feel bad
You
not
said a
saying
lot
everybody.
already. No, it's okay.
So I'm sorry, I feel bad not saying everyone,
No,
but
that's okay. Kind of closing it out, I want to ask you kind of like a last question. What would be one piece of advice that you would give to a business that wants to come to California and kind of flourish here?
yes, I would definitely recommend them contacting me, and I can explain to them all the resources, find them a site selection, show them a great ecosystem built around their business. Every business is every business has their own unique um, ecosystem that we can build for them, from the educational side to the workforce, um, to the industries that align with them. I would definitely recommend you connecting with us. You can connect here um, via the podcast, or you can connect via social media. We're here to help. Uh, Again, my name is Alicia Ramirez, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.